The email showed up at the perfect moment. Almost too perfect. A customer had been buying the same household product on a pretty regular rhythm. The retailer's system noticed the pattern, did the math, and realized she'd probably run out in 4 days. It also noticed she usually shopped on Thursday evenings, and it knew which discounts she tended to bite on and which ones she always ignored. So the offer landed right on time. Not a day early, not a day late. It was tailored, polite, and honestly, useful. And instead of feeling delighted, she felt watched. She stared at the message and had the exact thought so many people have had in the last few years: how did they know? Now, flip the situation. A different company had an algorithm that picked up a subtle change in purchase behavior and inferred something more personal. Pregnancy. Not because the customer declared it, but because patterns shifted in a way the model had learned to recognize. And then the marketing kicked in. Baby offers. Coupons. Recommendations. They didn't just show up on a screen. They arrived at the customer's home. And the wrong people saw them. That company didn't just predict something. It exposed something that wasn't theirs to reveal. And no, these aren't sci-fi hypotheticals. Variations of both stories have played out again and again. They point to the central tension in AI-driven customer intelligence. The same capability that makes personalization really valuable can also turn into surveillance really fast. The gap between "they get me" and "they know too much" is razor thin. And AI operates right on that edge. Customer intelligence might be the most powerful, most commercially tempting use of AI. It can help companies serve people better, anticipate needs, reduce friction, and create experiences customers genuinely appreciate. But that exact depth can also cross into manipulation, invasive profiling, and trust-breaking behavior. So that's the test for today's leader. The intelligent CMO has to harness AI's ability to understand customers and still protect the boundaries that make a relationship feel human, respectful, and safe. Because if you get it right, AI can deepen customer relationships. And if you get it wrong, it doesn't just annoy customers. It can destroy the relationship entirely. I'm Nakel Nakima, and this is the Intelligence Edge. We're closing out the domain series today, and we saved a big one for the finale. We're talking about AI for customer intelligence, personalization, engagement, and the ethics of knowing customers deeply. And I'm joined by a 4-person panel that lives at the intersection of growth, data, and responsibility. Dr. Lian Zhou is an AI transformation leader across Asia-Pacific, where expectations for personalization and privacy can feel totally different depending on the market. Maria Alvarez leads data governance work, and if you've ever wondered who's in the room saying, "Hold on, are we actually allowed to do this?" that's her lane. Jonas Richter is a data ethics and compliance specialist, which means he spends a lot of time turning uncomfortable questions into clear guardrails. And Kwame Mensah is an intelligence systems architect who has built customer intelligence systems where you have to balance capability with constraint. Alright, everyone, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Nakel. Customer intelligence is one of those topics where the upside and the downside both feel intensely personal.
Happy to be here. This is definitely the place where privacy, value, and customer trust crash into each other.
Good to be here. When AI touches individual lives this directly, ethics stops being abstract really quickly.
Thanks, Nakel. This domain is where the technical power and the ethical limits meet head-on.
Let's start wide. When we say AI is transforming customer intelligence, what do we actually mean? Lian, can you map the transformation for us?
Sure. I usually break it into 3 shifts, and each shift comes with both value and risk. First is understanding. AI can absorb huge volumes of signals about a person and turn it into what looks like a coherent picture: preferences, routines, behaviors, patterns. That's the foundation. And it's also where that "knew too much" feeling begins. Second is prediction. It's not just describing what customers did. It's forecasting what they'll do. what they might want next, when they'll buy, whether they'll churn, how they'll respond. That anticipation can be incredibly helpful, but it can also create that eerie moment where the company seems to know something you haven't said out loud. Third is personalization at scale. AI can tailor content, offers, experiences, and service to individuals, not just segments. That's powerful because it's basically a personal relationship in mass form. But the more precise it gets, the easier it is for it to feel like surveillance, or to slide into manipulation. So the big transformation is this move from segments to individuals, from reacting to anticipating, and from mass marketing to what feels like one-to-one engagement. And the uncomfortable truth is, every improvement in value tends to increase the risk too. That's what makes this domain double-edged.
That framing is so important: deeper capability, deeper responsibility. Kwame, from the technical side, what makes customer intelligence systems different from other AI domains?
There are a few traits that make them uniquely powerful and uniquely sensitive. 1. They're personal data heavy. Customer intelligence runs on the most intimate kind of operational data: transactions, behavior, interaction history, preferences. 2. The inference power is the big one. These systems aren't limited to what customers explicitly tell you. They infer. They can infer life events, health-related possibilities, financial stress, relationship changes. That's how we end up with cases like predicting pregnancy without anyone disclosing it. 3. It's individual level by design. A lot of analytics is aggregated. Customer intelligence is often about one person, this person, right now, with this offer, in this channel. And 4. It directly impacts the relationship. You're not just generating insight and filing it away. You're using it to act on a customer. So when it's good, it feels like amazing service. When it's bad, it feels creepy, invasive, or exploitative. That means the architecture can't just chase maximum capability. It has to include boundaries. If you build a highly capable system without guardrails, you haven't built an asset. You've built a liability.
Maria, this is where you come in. Why is customer data governance so much tougher than other governance problems?
Because you're dealing with the hardest possible combination. It's extremely sensitive data, because it's about people's identities, habits, and behaviors. And then AI can create even more sensitive derived information on top of that. It's heavily regulated. You have GDPR, CCPA, and then a growing patchwork globally. The rules aren't just strict, they're evolving. And the penalties are real. And then there's trust. Customer relationships are built on trust, and data handling is one of the fastest ways to lose it. If you misuse customer data, you don't just risk a compliance issue. You can permanently damage the brand. The other complexity is consent. Consent isn't a single checkbox. It's about purpose. What did the customer actually agree to, and what did they reasonably expect? And AI makes this harder because it finds new uses for old data. It does things customers couldn't have predicted when they clicked accept. Finally, there's the inference problem. Most organizations think governance is about what they collect. But in customer intelligence, what you infer can be just as sensitive, sometimes more sensitive, than what you collected. So governance has to cover the full life cycle, and it has to treat inferred data as a first-class risk.
Jonas, if you had to lay down the ethical foundation, what principles have to be front and center?
There are a few that matter most in this domain. First, privacy. People have a legitimate expectation not to be constantly profiled and monitored in ways that resemble surveillance. Second, meaningful consent. Not the legal fiction where consent is buried in pages of terms, but informed agreement that matches what's actually happening. Third, transparency. If someone is thinking, "How did you know that?" that's already a signal that transparency failed. Customers deserve to understand how they're being targeted and why. Fourth, non-manipulation. There's a difference between persuasion and designing a system to bypass someone's agency by exploiting psychological vulnerabilities. And fifth, customer benefit. The point of customer intelligence shouldn't be to extract maximum value from people. It should create value for them too. Those principles create boundaries. AI's ability to understand people is not permission to surveil them, manipulate them, or expose them.
Alright. Let's get practical. Where exactly does AI show up in customer intelligence today? Lien, can you walk us through the application map, and maybe call out where things get sensitive?
Absolutely. I'll go area by area, because the value is real, but the sensitivity varies. One is customer understanding and segmentation. AI can take what used to be broad segments and make them more nuanced, even down to individual profiles. The value is relevance. The sensitivity is, profiling can become uncomfortably deep. 2 is personalization. Tailoring content, offers, experiences, service. When it's good, customers feel seen. When it's too precise, it triggers that, wait, what do they know about me, feeling. 3 is churn prediction and retention. Predicting who might leave and intervening. Helpful if you fix real issues. Risky if you start acting like you can read someone's mind. 4 is next best action and recommendations. What should we show this person next? Great when it helps people find what they want. Dangerous if it becomes a system for steering behavior, not serving needs. 5 is customer service and engagement, assistance, chatbots, guided support. The sensitivity is transparency and quality. People hate being trapped. 6 is sentiment and feedback analysis. AI reads reviews, social posts, support transcripts. It's useful for understanding pain points, but it can become monitoring that feels too broad. 7 is marketing optimization, targeting, timing, messaging, budget allocation. That's a value engine, but the precision can also enable manipulation. And the pattern is consistent. The better it works, the more carefully you have to manage how it feels and what it implies.
Kwame, which of these are basically mature and mainstream, and which ones are still pushing into frontier territory?
Personalization and recommendation are very mature. They've been powering e-commerce and content platforms for a long time. Churn prediction is also mature. It's one of the classic high ROI models. Segmentation and customer understanding with machine learning is widely deployed too. What's rapidly maturing right now is conversational service because generative AI is a huge jump from older rule-based bots. Sentiment analysis is improving a lot as language models get better at nuance. The frontier area is deep individual prediction, inferring life events, sensitive attributes, unspoken needs. That's where the ethical risk concentrates because it's easy to cross from helpful anticipation into invasive discovery. And the key point is, because the mature stuff is everywhere, the creepy moments aren't theoretical. They're already happening.
Maria, governance-wise, what's the way to think about this across the lifecycle? Where do organizations tend to miss things?
They miss it by focusing too narrowly on collection. Yes, collection matters. What do you collect? Is it lawful? Is it purpose-limited? Did the customer consent? But then you have use. Are you using the data in ways consistent with that purpose? Then inference. What is the model deriving about the customer that wasn't explicitly given? That's the blind spot. Those inferences can be highly sensitive. Then sharing, internal access, external partners, third parties. Then retention, how long do you keep it, and can you delete it when customers request it? Then access control, who inside the company can see what? The principle I keep coming back to is, customer data is held in trust. If you treat it like a resource to mine without limits, you'll eventually pay for it, legally, reputationally, or both.
Jonas, let's name the danger zones. Where do you see the highest ethical risk?
There are a handful that show up repeatedly. One is invasive inference, inferring health status, pregnancy, sexuality, financial distress, emotional state. The fact that a model can infer it doesn't mean it should, and it definitely doesn't mean it should act on it. 2 is manipulation. Systems designed to exploit biases, manufacture urgency, or push people in ways that bypass their awareness. 3 is surveillance creep. Organizations slowly expanding tracking across channels until they've built a near-total profile. 4 is exploiting vulnerable customers. AI can identify vulnerability and then target it. That's ethically unacceptable. 5 is consent violation. Using data beyond what a person agreed to, or in a way they couldn't reasonably anticipate. And 6 is what people often underestimate. The creepy line. Even if something is technically legal, if it feels unsettling, customers pull back. Trust erodes. In all those zones, the consistent rule is that short-term gain can lead to long-term collapse.
Let's dig into that paradox you hinted at earlier, Lien. Customers want personalization, and they're also scared of it. How do you explain that without hand-waving?
It's not contradictory. It's two legitimate desires at the same time. People want relevance. They want recommendations that actually fit. They want service that doesn't make them repeat their story. They don't want to be treated like a stranger every time. But they also don't want to feel monitored, profiled, or surprised by what a company seems to know. So the question becomes, what kind of personalization are we doing? If it creates value for the customer, it tends to feel good. If it's mainly extracting value for the company, it tends to feel gross. If it's transparent, it's more acceptable. If it's opaque and mysterious, it feels invasive. If it falls within what the customer expects, it feels normal. If it reveals unexpected depth, it triggers that "how did they know" reaction. And if it's bounded, it feels like service. If it's totalizing, it feels like surveillance. The intelligent CMO has to operate inside that balance, because personalization is only helpful as long as trust stays intact.
Kwame, let's make this concrete. How do you design personalization so it feels like service, not like spying?
You have to make deliberate design choices. It doesn't happen by accident. First is purpose limitation. Be explicit about why you're personalizing and keep it tied to customer value, not anything we can do to increase conversion. Second is transparency by design. Give people a way to understand why they're seeing something. Even a simple, "you're seeing this because," can change the emotional experience. Third is staying inside consent. Don't build systems that quietly stretch beyond what was agreed. Fourth is bounded inference. This is huge. Decide what the system is allowed to infer and act on. Just because you can infer something sensitive doesn't mean you should. Fifth is customer control. Let customers adjust personalization, opt out of certain uses, or manage preferences. And then I like what I call a dignity check. Before deploying, ask, would a reasonable customer feel respected by this, or unsettled? Would this make them feel helped, or exposed? Responsible personalization isn't a vibe. It's a set of choices that get implemented in the architecture.
Maria, what does governance look like when you're trying to keep personalization on the right side of that line?
You need multiple layers. You need purpose governance so personalization doesn't drift into surveillance or pure extraction. You need inference governance so teams know which inferences are acceptable, which require heightened protection, and which are off limits. You need consent governance so personalization doesn't quietly outgrow the permissions people gave. You need transparency governance that forces teams to think, how will the customer understand this? And you need boundary governance, explicitly defining that creepy line and manipulation line, and building reviews that catch edge cases. Also, vulnerability governance. If your system can identify vulnerable groups, your controls have to prevent targeting them in harmful ways. And finally, testing governance. Not just A/B testing for clicks, but assessing customer impact. Does this feel helpful, or does it feel invasive? If you only measure performance, you'll optimize toward behaviors that erode trust.
Jonas, you mentioned the manipulation line. People argue about it endlessly. Where is the line, really? How can leaders tell when personalization becomes manipulation?
The line can be blurry. but there are reliable markers. First marker: whose interests are being served. If the customer clearly benefits, that's personalization. If it's designed primarily to benefit the company regardless of customer well-being, you're drifting toward manipulation. Second, does it respect psychology or exploit it? Presenting relevant options is fine. Engineering false urgency or triggering emotional reactions to override judgment is not. Third, is it transparent or hidden? Manipulation tends to rely on the customer not understanding what's happening. Fourth, does it target vulnerability? If you're targeting people because they're addicted, distressed, cognitively limited, financially fragile, that's a major ethical red flag. And fifth is my favorite because it's practical: the disclosure test. Ask yourself, would we be comfortable telling the customer exactly what we're doing and why? If full honesty would make the customer feel violated or tricked, that's not a marketing win. That's a warning sign. The intelligent CMO should build systems that can survive disclosure, not systems that depend on secrecy.
Let's shift to conversational AI, because this is where a lot of customers are now directly interacting with AI day to day. Kwame, what's different now with generative AI compared to the old chatbot era?
It's a big leap. Old chatbots were mostly scripts with branches. They worked when the customer phrased things exactly right and stayed inside narrow scenarios. Outside that, you got frustration, dead ends, and a desperate search for agent. Generative AI brings a few upgrades. It can hold a more natural conversation. It can handle varied phrasing. It can keep context longer. It's broader in competence. It can answer a wider range of questions and reason through novel situations. It can personalize engagement, using customer context to tailor the conversation. It can also detect frustration signals and respond in a way that feels more emotionally aware. And of course, it's always on and scalable. But the risks come with it: hallucinations, confident wrong answers, unclear accountability, and the temptation to let AI handle things it shouldn't. So again, capability has to be matched with responsible design.
Lien, strategically, what does conversational AI unlock for the customer function?
Several things. Service transformation is the obvious one. Faster support, 24/7 availability, more consistent interactions. But it also deepens engagement. The AI can be an ongoing channel, not just a reactive help desk. It creates insight. Every conversation is data about what customers want, what confuses them, where friction lives. It improves accessibility, multiple languages, lower wait times, more consistent access to help. But I think the key is balance. Some moments require a human, complex issues, emotionally charged situations, important relationship moments. If you replace every human touchpoint with automation, you might reduce cost and accidentally reduce loyalty. The goal is to use AI where it genuinely improves the experience, while preserving human connection where it matters.
Maria, if a company is rolling out conversational AI, what governance needs to be in place so it doesn't become a liability?
A few pillars. Accuracy governance. Conversational systems can sound confident while being wrong. For anything consequential, policies, pricing, commitments, you need grounding, verification, and monitoring. Transparency governance. Customers should know they're talking to AI. That's not just ethical, it's increasingly a legal expectation. Data governance. Conversations reveal a lot. People share context, emotions, even sensitive details. You need clear rules on how that data is stored, used, and whether it's used for training. Escalation governance. Customers need a clean path to humans when the AI can't help or when the situation requires it. Quality governance. Measure whether it actually helps customers, not just whether it reduced ticket volume. And sensitive situation governance. Distress, complaints, sensitive topics. The system should recognize those scenarios and handle them carefully, often by routing to a person.
Jonas, ethically, conversational AI raises a different set of questions. What should leaders watch for?
A few dimensions stand out. One is honesty about what it is. Passing AI off as human is a breach of trust. Another is emotional authenticity. If an AI detects emotion and responds with empathy, is that supportive? Or is it a simulation being used to build rapport in order to influence? Then there's dependency. Some customers may become attached to these systems, especially vulnerable or lonely individuals. Companies have responsibilities if they create systems people rely on emotionally. There's also privacy. People reveal a lot in conversation without realizing how that information could be harvested. And finally, dignity. Does the system genuinely help? Or does it trap people in loops to deflect cost? Customers can tell the difference. The guiding principle is simple. Conversational AI should help customers honestly and respectfully, with transparency, data care, and human backup when needed.
Let's zoom out and talk about the destination. If we build this the right way, what does an intelligent customer function actually look like? Lien, paint the picture.
To me, the ideal future is deep understanding paired with deep respect. It understands customers as individuals, not just as segments. It uses that understanding to genuinely serve relevant experiences, anticipated needs, responsive support. But it's also bounded. It knows where not to go. It doesn't cross into invasive surveillance or manipulation. It operates transparently, so customers aren't left guessing what's happening. And because of those choices, it deepens relationships. It earns trust rather than spending it. The key insight is that boundaries don't reduce value in the long run. They enable sustainable value because trust is the foundation of customer relationships.
Kwame, what technical foundation makes that vision real?
You need both capability and protection built into the stack. A unified customer data platform, but with consent and privacy embedded, not tacked on. An intelligence layer that handles understanding and prediction while enforcing boundaries like purpose limitation and bounded inference. An engagement layer, personalization, conversational AI, service, that includes transparency and customer control. Strong privacy and consent infrastructure, because without it customer intelligence becomes risk-heavy. And governance plus monitoring to detect drift. Are we creeping toward more invasive use over time? The architecture has to embody the ethics. If protection is bolted on after the fact, it will fail under pressure.
Maria, what governance keeps that customer function healthy over time, not just at launch?
Governance has to center on preserving trust as an ongoing practice. Privacy governance to ensure protection remains strong. Consent governance to ensure usage remains aligned with what customers agreed to, even as products evolve. Boundary governance to keep teams on the right side of the creepy line, manipulation line, and surveillance line. Compliance governance because regulations keep changing. And inference governance as a priority, because that's where so many organizations still have a gap. In the end, you're governing for the thing that builds the business over time, customer trust.
Jonas, I want to end this segment with what you call the ethical heart. If you had to say it plainly, what is the core choice in customer intelligence?
The core choice is whether you treat customers as people to serve or data to exploit. There are two paths. One path uses AI to understand customers so you can help them. Better experiences, better service, fewer frustrations. It respects boundaries, protects privacy, and builds trust. The other path uses the same AI to extract, monitor everything, infer sensitive details, exploit vulnerabilities, manipulate choices. It's optimized for short-term gain, and it tends to end in backlash, regulatory, reputational, or both. So the question isn't whether the technology can do it. It's whether you have the intent and the guardrails to choose the serving path deliberately. And I'll tie it back to your cold open. The cautionary tale isn't just that the company knew something. It's that it acted without wisdom. The best customer intelligence isn't knowing everything. It's knowing enough to serve, while respecting what should not be known, revealed, or used.
Alright, let's close with a tactical edge segment. For leaders, for action someone can take this week. Lien, you first.
Run a creepy line review on your personalization. Pick a few real campaigns and ask, honestly, would a customer find this helpful, or would they feel unsettled? If it's likely to trigger, how did they know you're too far over the line?
Maria.
Inventory what your AI infers, not just what you collect. Ask, are we inferring sensitive life events or vulnerabilities? And do we have governance for those inferences? Most companies have a governance plan for collection and a blind spot for inference.
Jonas.
Apply the disclosure test. For any targeting or personalization practice, ask, would we be comfortable explaining this to customers clearly? If the honest explanation would make you cringe, that's an ethical red flag even if it's technically legal today.
Kwame.
Check whether privacy and consent are architectural or cosmetic. If your consent system is an afterthought and privacy controls are bolted on, your customer intelligence will eventually break under scale. Build protection into the foundation.
Let me pull the thread through everything we covered. AI changes customer intelligence by making understanding deeper, prediction sharper, and personalization scalable. But in this domain, value and risk climb together. The exact same capabilities that create relevance and convenience can create intrusion and harm. Customer intelligence runs on the most sensitive, most regulated, most trust-dependent data companies have. And the frontier challenge isn't just governing what you collect, but governing what your systems infer. The personalization paradox is real. Customers want personalization and fear it at the same time. The way through is how you do it, value creating instead of value extracting, transparent rather than opaque, expected instead of surprising, bounded rather than total. And the line between personalization and manipulation can be tested, whose interest is served, whether psychology is respected or exploited, whether it's transparent or hidden, whether it targets vulnerability, and whether it survives disclosure. Conversational AI is transforming engagement, more natural, more capable, always available, but it demands accuracy controls, transparency, escalation paths, and a commitment to dignity. And the North Star is the intelligent customer function, deep understanding paired with deep respect. Because in customer intelligence, boundaries aren't a blocker to value. They're the condition that makes value sustainable. That opening story is the cautionary tale. A company that knew too much, and acted without care. The better story is an organization that knows enough to serve well, and has the wisdom to respect what shouldn't be known, revealed, or exploited. This wraps our domain series on finance, operations, strategy, and customer intelligence. And the through line is simple: AI is powerful, but power without judgment erodes what matters most: trust, ethics, and the human core of decision-making. To our panelists, thank you for closing this series with us.
Thanks, Nakel. Great way to end the run.
Thank you. This conversation is only getting more urgent.
A vital final chapter for the series. Appreciate it.
Always glad to be here. Important discussion.
Next week on The Intelligence Edge, we shift from opportunity to risk with a new episode, AI Risk Management, the downside of machine reasoning, and how organizations build systematic defenses. Until then, I'm Nakel Nikima. Make better decisions.